Yeah, we were talking about 360-degree review. As the name suggests, 360 simply means taking a review from all the sides, all the four sides, which is from top, bottom, and sideways. So top means your supervisor, taking a feedback on the behavior. So 360-degree review, like I said, is used to evaluate behavior of an individual, or you can say behavioral aspects of performance. What I mean by behavioral aspects of performance: alignment with values. Is the person aligned with organizational values and culture? When we say values, we also mean culture. So that's what we evaluate. Is the person aligned with the behavior and culture of the organization? So usually it's a 360-degree is a survey that we conduct and it tells us gaps within teams, within people, and scope of organization development. So this is what we get out of 360. So we simply send a survey to your reporting manager, people who are reporting to you, your subordinates, and your colleagues or peers who interact with you a lot. Not all colleagues. If somebody is sitting in, let's say, a lane branch, I never talk to him, then he cannot give my 360-degree review because he never worked with me. Somebody who regularly interacts with me can only give my review. So this is how we take review of all these people, and there are many things which yeah, but it's more organic than Johari window. It is more aligned with the organization culture and values rather than any specific parameters. So let us say how it is going to help you. Let us say there is an example of a situation where you are asking all the four sides. You are asking, how is my behavior in my day-to-day interaction? Or let's make it more specific. You have asked this question. Let me just create a scale. Okay, so you have asked this question. This is a survey question. I am respectful in my day-to-day behavior. I exhibit mutual respect in my day-to-day behavior. Now this question is asked to different people, and let's say few people replied and they gave you, somebody gave 4 out of 5, someone gave you 4.5 out of 5, someone may give you 5 out of 5, but on an average you can see either it's 4 or it's 4.5. Okay, but one person here, he gave 1 out of 5. So this is the kind of response I got. Now I'm very clear that most of the people, let's say 3 6, 8. Out of 8, 7 people are saying that I show respect in my day-to-day behavior, but one person is saying I am disrespectful. So there are high chances that either this person has some animosity or some bias or some issues with me, right, on a personal level, isn't it? Let's say he is IT manager and he has given me 1, all else they have given me 4, 5. So now the HR manager, what he needs to do, he needs to go and talk to this person and ask him what is the reason why he is giving him 1, because everyone is giving 4 or 5. So this is your scope of work, especially for organization development team. This kind of ratings, they should be a matter of concern for us, and we should be able to find out the root cause of the problem and try to provide a solution. So we should be then working on this problem and find out a solution. Okay. There are some prerequisites for 360-degree, such as people should at least minimum spend 3 months with each other before they write reviews for anyone else. People should be trained in 360. People who are writing the 360-degree review should be mature. So we usually do not allow freshers to write 360-degree reviews. The metric should be culture oriented, and it should be constructive and confidential. Confidential because, let's say, if you share what people are writing about each other, then there are chances that instead of bridging the gap, you might increase the gap between people. So there has to be confidentiality when managing the 360-degree reviews, and also constructive in nature. So like if I have to criticize someone, I should be criticizing the action, not the person himself. So my criticism should be constructive, not destructive. So I will go and talk about it again, okay? Mostly there are 3 limitations of our appraisal systems. So let me show you a video from the office, and let's see if we are on the same page.
Under strengths, you've just put account. Under
is it visible to all of you, the screen, or not? No, I think I have to share it again. Yeah, I hope now it is visible. Yes, I hope it is visible now. Okay.
Under strengths, you've just put accounts.
Yeah.
That's your job, though. That's just. No, Keith. I was sort of looking for your skills within your job. So, is there anything else you could have put there? No. Okay. Under weaknesses, you've put eczema.
You had a fantastically welcoming buffet.
The wine was something else. So,
Everyone's sort of quite friendly.
yeah, everyone's... And Tim seems nice.
Hey, yeah.
It's a good laugh. I was just gonna, has he got a girlfriend or...
Tim.
Why? What's up with it?
Nothing. Why?
Would you?
The equation.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if you weren't, would he be...
Oh, man. Madness.
Keith. Right, you've left this section completely blank, Keith. You haven't done the Q&A.
I thought that you filled that in.
No. This is aimed at you. Look, to what extent do you believe that you have the skills and knowledge to perform your job effectively? And then you just tick one of the boxes. Not at all. To some extent. Very much so. Don't know. What would you tick?
Don't know.
Okay. Question 2. Do you feel you have received adequate training to use your computer effectively?
What are the options?
Same as they're always the same. Always the same. Not at all. To some extent. Very much so. Don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know again. Okay. Do you feel you are given the flexibility to decide how best to accomplish your goals? Do you want the options again?
Yeah.
Not at all. To some extent. Always the same. Very much so. Don't know. If don't know wasn't there, what would you put?
Well, the options.
Not at all. To some extent. Very much so. Don't know.
Very much so.
Do you remember what the question was?
No.
Okay. Do you... We're going to leave that there.
All right. So, what was wrong in this case? Can you see something which was troubling? Yeah. So what do you think? Why everyone was busy in their stuff? No one was interested. So the answer is that maybe they do not see any value in the performance management system. And Keith, you can see Keith was not at all interested in what was being discussed. He mostly, during the meeting also, he seemed to be not bothering with this performance management system. There was no preparation in the office. People were just chit-chatting and no one was taking it seriously. Like they already know what is going to be the outcome of this exercise. And this is what happens in many companies where employees are not interested. They already know how it is going to work out and who is going to get what. Many times people say this when you really dig, and if you are good with people, they may share this with you that, we know what is going to happen, who is going to get what. Every year we are witness of this. So there are 3 problems here. There is either they are not happy with the performance management system itself. It is not standardized. It is not linked with organizational goals. And you are spending a lot of time and resources in this futile exercise. Second problem is limitations of raters. Now, not only your system may be faulty, the raters may also have limitations, such as halo effect. Now, what is halo effect? Halo effect is a positive effect, positive bias. For example, you can take this example. This young boy is so determined. He's the best boy, best guy for the job. And you can see what the young boy is doing. Based on a positive experience, we assume overall a person's performance to be good. Based on our positive experience, we may assume overall performance of a person to be good. That is halo effect. Okay. We always make these perceptions based on one good quality of a person. We assume overall they are good. We make this mistake when we are hiring people. We make this mistake when we are doing their performance management also. Second is horn effect. Opposite is horn effect. Based on one bad quality, you assume overall a person to be having bad performance. Like I gave you example in the beginning. Oh, I saw him smoking outside. So why you are keeping him in A? Make him B. So one such trait, and you assume that overall the performance is bad. Then bias. The bias is based on race, gender, culture, religion, nationality, and age. Right? We will have these biases. I don't see any individual who is beyond these biases and stereotypes. What I want to say is everyone is affected by these biases. So these biases are like, screens that we have developed in our life, and we see the entire world through those screens. And unfortunately, it may be also sometimes and many times because of the place we are raised, the family. Maybe sometimes one person in your life may create such an impact, isn't it? So there are so many examples you can take from your life. For example, let's say you are sitting in Burjuman Mall and you kept your wallet on a bench and you are just enjoying the view. You are looking at people going here and there. Someone comes and sits next to you. You smile at the person smiles back, and you are just looking around, enjoying the view or something. Now, after let's say 2 minutes, you look back and your wallet is missing. Okay, so the person took your wallet. So what is the first impression? Many of them will have, oh my god, he was from that nationality, I should have been more careful, right? And that may bring a bias in our mind. It happens. Like it happens when you see a particular person in a particular way, especially if you watch a lot of news. Nowadays, if you are on social media a lot, then what happens? They are just shaping our view about the world in a particular way, and that leads to biases. And these biases are based on so many things apart from experiences. So biases can be based on race, gender. Men are stronger than women. Emotionally, men are stronger than women. That's a bias. There are emotionally strong women and there are emotionally strong men. Then culture. This culture is better than the other cultures. That's a bias. Everyone believes their culture is the best, isn't it so? I may believe Indian culture is best. You may believe Arabic culture is best. Somebody will believe no, British culture is best. Somebody will believe, because it's very simple. The way we are raised, we feel that that's the best. It's very convenient for us. So based on the culture, we may also develop bias. he comes from that culture. I see it all the time when people ask me to hire from that nationality. Sometimes the CEOs and senior people, when they are looking for some people in the senior level people, especially in their department, so they openly tell, okay, I need this nationality. And initially I used to ask Christian. Nowadays I know their answers, so I may not ask every time. So we need this nationality only. And why? Because they are wise. They are wise. In accounts, they are very good and they are wise, or they are honest. Hmm? So it doesn't mean that all other nationalities are dishonest. No, it doesn't mean that. Every type of person exists in every race, every gender, every culture, every religion, every nationality, and every age group. Right? There are hard-working Indians, no doubt, but there are hardly working Indians also. Right? There are smart Europeans, there are dumb Europeans also. I know. I know smart ones also, I know dumb ones also. Right? So this bias we see, unfortunately, in this country, we need to work a lot on this area. There should not be any bias based on the color or name of your passport. I have seen this industry for some time, and it's unfortunate. I don't know when it is going to improve. I hope, inshallah, it is going to improve soon. But just giving packages based on a nationality is not a good idea. Right. So these are the biases that we develop through our life. And especially when you are doing performance management, you should be free of any kind of bias, because it's not about one person. No, it's never about a person in an organization. It's about your culture. One wrong decision will damage the entire image of the company in eyes of your employee. Remember, humans are social beings. There are Your conference room discussions are way more less important than the pantry, the water cooler, or the lunchroom discussions. Right? So if you take a decision based on certain bias or vasta or anything like that, you shouldn't uh, imagine that no one is going to talk about it. People are going to talk about it over the phones in the evening when they reach home, or during the lunch hours, lunch breaks, or during the smoke breaks. They're going to talk about these things, and that is going to shape your culture, not what is written on your walls or what you talk in the conference room. So that's why it becomes very, very important to make at least performance management bias free. Okay, so this is one. Many raters will have it. So how we should go about it? Google did this research, wonderful research, and they said you don't have to win their hearts and minds to make people aware about the bias. You just have to show them some research, some data that we are not consciously biased. So people are not biased consciously. At least most of the people. Some are, okay. Some are consciously biased, that I will not hire from that country or that nationality, or things like that. There are, but most of them are unconsciously biased. Right. So for example, what is unconscious bias? Let's say I'm from India and Google did this research on their employees and their hiring managers. So if I read names like typical Indian names like Suresh, Ramesh, Yogesh, Kamlesh, etc., etc. Right? So I'm very comfortable with these names because I have been raised hearing all these names. My uncle, my neighbor, my brother, they all have these names, right? And now if you say John or if you say Joseph, or maybe some other name. So I may really, that name may be a kind of alien to me. So if you give me 10 CVs, in those 10 CVs, if you divide different names, if you mix it with 10 different, let's say 10 different type of, one Arabic, one Latin, one American, and then there is one which I know. So tell me which CV I will pick first. The name which I'm familiar with, right? That is going to attract my attention first. That's a bias. That's how the bias starts. Because my mind will say, oh, I don't know, these are even these Russian names. They're so difficult to pronounce. I will look at it later, right? let me pick this one first. I'm very familiar with this name. And that's true. Google found it in their research that, when Americans, they screen CVs, they always look for the American names. As soon as they see a name like Abdullah, Jamal, or some other African names or these kind of names, they do not shortlist those CVs. At Google, I'm not talking about some typical American company run by Trump. Okay. It is, one of the most, I would say, innovative companies where the smartest people of the world, we imagine, are working at Google, and they are having these biases, right? So I realized 2 years back, one of my students, she was working with the ADNOC, she was working with. So she started a new initiative which was welcomed by many people. What she did, all the CVs that we are going to share with the line managers will be without names. Because as soon as you hear a name, your mind starts some bias, right? So they used to provide CVs without name, nationality. You have to go through the CV, look at the experience, skills, capability, etc., before calling a candidate for the interview. Otherwise, what happens, all the vasta, the names that we are familiar with, we tend to go for those people. Yeah, so that's a very good approach, futuristic approach, and that's what I think in future organizations will understand it more and more, and we should be removing this bias from at least hiring. When we are hiring, we should remove it at least in performance management. Once they are part of your family, then all these people are part of your family, right? Rater's error. So what is rater's error? When the rater misses out a critical part of information regarding performance. Like if you see this example, so you can see here is your annual performance review. And this kind of mistake a lot of people make. If a person performed really well for 11 months, and let's say something happened in the 12th month. Recently, one of our employee, her performance dropped considerably in 3 months. And when we did some research, we found that one of her close friend died 3 months back. After that death, she is not feeling her 100% because she had many childhood memories with the girl. So this is, this can happen to anyone. It can happen to you. It can happen to me, isn't it? So based on 1 month, we cannot decide performance for the entire year of a person. Opposite can also happen. For 11 months, the person had poor performance. In the 12th month, performance was great. So you may give him benefit of that. Central tendency. Central tendency means, we also call it leniency error, where we tend to give average rating to most of the people. Most or all employees are rated as average, where we tend to give average rating to most of or all the employees. And this is an international type of error and is mainly caused by a supervisor's desire to play it safe. Right? So let me give a practical scenario how it happens. Let's say you received 15 forms to evaluate for performance appraisal. You know that if you give 5 out of 5 to a person, HR is going to ask questions. If you give 1 out of 5, HR will ask questions. But if you give 3, no one is going to ask anything. Also, people will not ask because you are showing egalitarianism. Everyone is equal for me. So you will give 3 to everyone rather than giving 5 for special treatment to some people. But that's not the right approach. We call it central tendency, which means going towards the center, average, going towards the average. Okay, so you can call it leniency error, laziness, or when the supervisor wants to play safe. Now the last step when we have this any kind of appraisal is an appraisal interview. So there is this interesting video from DP World. I hope everyone is aware about DP World Dubai Ports. And they have created some amazing videos, especially for their internal training purpose when they are training their managers. Just give me a moment. Yeah. So how we should take appraisal meetings or appraisal interviews? Let us watch this video and then we will discuss.
Take a seat. Good. Okay, so we're going to review your performance over the past 12 months. We're going to set up some goals, get your feedback on a few issues, and coach you so that you can become an important part of DP World. And your time starts now. Okay. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks.
Settling in to the job.
I don't know. How do you think I'm settling in?
Okay. Now, between I and V, how would you rate my performance as your manager over the past 12 months?
Is this a trick question?
No. I is very poor, II is bad, III is satisfactory, IV is good, and V is excellent.
V?
Correct. Okay. Now, do you have any issues with anyone in the workplace that you would like to share with me at this point in time? Yes,
Yeah, but
hello.
what's the point? He never listens.
Your crews to pull their fingers out, and I meant snappily. Right. Issues.
Forget it.
Okay, no issues. Okay. Now let's talk about your weaknesses. Have you got the list ready?
No, I didn't even know we were having this review. If you'd told me, then I
I've
would
got
have...
a list here for you already. You'll notice that lack of preparedness is on there.
What's this about poor organisational skills?
You gave the wrong food to the elephants.
The Vindaloo thing?
Yeah.
Oh, that was 6 months ago, and that's not even on my job description.
Well, engineering had to clean up the mess, and it cost us time. Speaking of which, yours is running out. Any questions?
What about positives? Isn't that part of this review?
Other side.
Well, I guess that's it then.
Just about. My door is always open, you know that. Okay, it says here we need to set you a realistic goal, so how about keep up the good work?
Good work?
Yeah.
You've done nothing but criticise me from the moment I started.
Whoa, I'm just doing what's in my position description, okay?
What's the point? You don't even need me here.
Of course I need you here. You have to sign off that we've had this discussion.
How about I make it real easy for you and just leave?
No, that's not what is meant to happen. We're meant to come out of this valuable process with a deeper understanding and mutual respect. What am I going to do now?
What do you seek?
What?
You have consulted the Book of Truth. What do you seek?
Knowledge? Wisdom?
You messed up and now you're looking for a shortcut, right?
Wow, this is the Book of Truth. Yes, all right, I admit it. I hate performance reviews. I'm no good at it and someone always ends up walking out.
All right. So, what went wrong? What went wrong in this meeting? A lot. Okay. All right. So, can you guys share? Oh, everything is wrong. So, according to you, what do you think was missing, and how he should have handled it? Yes, very good point. The employee was not given a chance to speak. There was no appreciation. Very good. The rater should be replaced. Yes, he started criticizing and doesn't let the employee explain or speak. He doesn't even listen. Yes. Good. Yes, yes. So I think you have understood the crux of it. It's a lack of communication, which many managers have. True. Yes, the feedback wasn't constructive at all. Good point. It shouldn't be personal. Yes, very good. Very good. Was not conducted in a proper manner as rater is not effective with his job. Yes, Maria, right. Okay, so that's good. I mean, we all are on the same page, and that's exactly what I was going to share next. Even the environment was not good. Yeah, good. So, yes, it should happen in a open, calm environment where people do not feel intimidated. Especially, you shouldn't have it in your office cabin. You should have it in some conference room or some place where people can open up and share what they feel. And purpose should be very clear. The purpose is to improve the performance of your people and not to judge them, right? So you should always start with asking them what do they feel about the performance. How do they see their performance of the last year? Self-appraisal. Start with appreciation. There is this sandwich technique. I'm sure some of you may be aware. Sandwich technique means start with appreciation, give criticism, end with appreciation. Start with appreciation, then you give criticism, and then you end with appreciation. Right? So that is what we call sandwich technique. Because when you start and end with appreciation, people still are going to take your words positively. Now, when it comes to criticism, two things we must have in mind. Number one, criticize the action, not the person. We should criticize the action, but we cannot criticize the person. We cannot label the person. For example, I found that you are lazy. Now that's criticizing the person. But saying that you sent a report which you could have done in 2 hours, You took 3 days. Now that is criticizing the action. You are a liar. That is criticizing the person. But saying that, in the last meeting you made a presentation. In that presentation, the numbers you presented were exaggerated. These were wrong. Now that is criticizing the action, not the person. Because when you criticize a person, they start protecting themselves. And they will immediately form a negative opinion about you. But when you criticize their action, the chances of understanding why you are criticizing are higher. Right? Yes, like Eddie is saying, they will get defensive when you criticize a person. Okay? So if you tell him you are a liar, and he will think, how? You ask me my name, I will say my true name. How you can say that I'm a liar? So there are so many things which I always say the truth. But obviously, even if you lie occasionally, someone may call you liar, but people will not accept that. They will defend themselves, right? Yeah, 1 or 2 lies. Who is in this world does not lie? Everyone lies, and lying is important for our survival. So he's going to defend himself, right? That there is nothing wrong with lying here and there. But I'm not a liar. So don't let people, otherwise they will take guard. So don't criticize them, criticize their action. And when it comes to feedback, one thing that I always, especially when I talk to line managers and senior leadership, I always tell them the best way to give criticism is to first develop trust with your people. If your people trust you, then they will take your criticism also positively. If they don't trust you, then they will not even take your appreciation positively. You understand what I'm saying? For example, if you trust me, then even if I say something wrong to you, even if I say that it is not right, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't behave like this, you will take it positively. Why? Because you trust me that what I am saying is for your own good. But if you don't trust me, then even if I say wise things and right things to you, you will be suspicious. What are his intentions? What he's trying to get out of me? Right? Is he going to sell another course to me? With salespeople, it happens, right? So that's what we need to understand. That first thing is to develop trust with your people. If they trust you, they will. Let me give an example. If I ask any one of you whom you trust most in your life, what you are going to say? Can you just type whom you trust most in your life, in your family or in your work life or anywhere? Parents, mom, mother. Okay, parents. Girish, myself. Apart from yourself, Girish, you don't trust anyone apart from yourself. You should trust bank at least, huh? Parents, husband, okay. Myself. Even people who are saying myself, you will trust someone, no? Otherwise, you cannot survive if you don't trust anyone. Okay. So, like when you go to a restaurant, you have to trust the chef, isn't it? Otherwise, you cannot have a meal in the restaurant. If you go to bank, you have to trust the banker or the bank. Isan is saying insurance company. All right. Now see, jokes apart, but most of you trust your parents, your friends, maybe husband, in some cases, wife. We trust people who are in our family or we have grown up with them. Now, if anyone is there who did not fight with their father or mother or their parents in their childhood or in their teenage or even today, I don't think any one of you can say that we never have issues and we never have differences with our parents. Like I have a lot of differences with my father, especially. So my father is, he was very strict, and still sometimes we have differences. Like now, I'm not interacting a lot with him every day, but yes, when we stay in the same house, we often have differences in a very respectful manner. So uh, my father, I mean, he has some different way of looking at things. So at 5:30 he will wake up everyone. He will say it's morning, get up. By 5:30 you all should be up. And at 6 o'clock, if you are not up by 6 a.m., he will say that you will not achieve any good thing in your life. Already the time has passed. All successful people get up before the sun rises. You are getting at 6 o'clock, so I don't think you are going to attract anything good in your life. At 6:30 he will make a lot of noise and he will start shouting and he will say, it's already afternoon. Then there's no point of getting up. You should just sleep, entire day. It's already afternoon. Look at the sun. So at 5:30 it is morning, at 6:30 it is afternoon in his calculations. Okay. But he's the person whom I trust most in my life. I mean, he manages everything. When it comes to me, my brother, my sister, he still is the one. Now he's retired. He manages all our accounts, everything he manages. So why we fight with our parents sometimes, we have arguments, differences, still we trust them. Why? There is a simple reason. The simple reason is we know internally that whatever they are saying, they at least feel it is for our own good. Right? They feel that it will help them. That's why they are saying all these things to you. In most of the cases. So we trust them because they have good intentions for us. Same applies to the work life also. Yes. So even if we disagree with them, they don't have any bad intentions. Now, the same applies to the work life. People take all the criticism from the managers positively when they trust the manager. And when they do not trust the manager, even appreciation is seen as suspicion or a doubt. You understand what I'm saying? So that trust is very important in the corporate life as well. And I can understand that you cannot have the same level of trust like your parents, but I mean, at least you should have some degree of trust that whatever this person is saying is because he wants to improve my performance, improve me. And that is it requires a day-to-day affirmation. You need to show them in your behavior that you really want to improve them. Right? So then even criticism is taken positively. We should always know that self-appraisal is like this. Right? What it means is that we over-evaluate our abilities. It applies to most of the people. There are very few people who are very practical in their self-appraisal. Most of the people over-evaluate their abilities. So when you get some negative feedback, even from the supervisor, and we should educate our people that your self-appraisal is important for us, but you should not rely on your self-appraisal because we tend to over-evaluate our abilities. So now it becomes, what you should do, when you meet your supervisor, you should seek for criticism. Because in your own eyes, everyone is perfect in their own eyes most of the times. People feel that I know better, I know best. Most of the people feel they are the smartest people. That's why we have views on everything, right? So in India, especially, people have views on everything, from politics to games to everything. They can tell the prime minister what to do. They can tell the best player to how to play. They have their views on everything. So we should know that self-appraisal is sometimes people overevaluate. So before presenting any appraisal to them, we should uh, keep them ready with that. Yeah, we can over evaluate our abilities, but let's see what the supervisor has to say. Yes, this is end of our chapter number 5, which is performance management. We have time today, a bit, 10-15 minutes we have. So I would like to hear from you guys. What do you think? What was your key learning from the session today? So you can write down one key learning. We discussed a lot of things. So according to you, what was your one key learning from this session? All right. So okay, so Edige, we'll start with you. One of my key learning today is that difference between performance management and appraisals. Yes. Management is strategic, appraisal is operational. Yes. Good. Mohammed Hamouri saying balanced scorecard. Maria Divina, learn to always be objective, avoid being biased. Yes. And ensuring to set goals strategically. Yes, Maria. Good. Aya, management by objective. All right. Maria Cindy, there should be an effective and efficient performance management in order to achieve better organizational performance. Good. Yathiraj, KPI to be on smart basis. Yes, true. Sienna, again emphasizing on performance management versus appraisal. Good. Katrina, MBO is an effective method for performance management as it is not biased. Yes. Patricia, difference between performance management versus appraisal. Yes. It is an important topic, guys. You may get one question from this topic and one question from balance scorecard. Both are very important. Yes. For Kena, key learning was in order to retain and develop exceptional employees, there must be a clear expectation set in the first place. Yes. Maintain open communication, constructive criticism, appreciation, and respect. Very good. Very good. Shafi, ranking scales with attendance, behavior, sincerity, dependability is useful technique. Sonia, provide adequate feedback to each person on her performance. Avoid being biased. True. Learning how to observe employee before appraisal. Yes. Yes, the difference between KRA and KPI, and KRA is qualitative, cannot be measured. KPI is quantitative and measurable. Very good. All right, I think that's great. Most of you have shared. Anyone else, if you want to say something, you can share. You can come up and share. Anything special you want to share? Okay, all right. Great. So this was module number 5. What is important in this module? First, performance management versus appraisal. Many times there is a question. Difference between traditional methods, modern methods. Management by objective. You will get one question definitely from there. Balance scorecard. One question definitely from balance scorecard. So 3 questions are fixed: performance management, balance scorecard, MBO. And 4th is bias, right? Different types of biases. So they may give you an example and they may ask which type of bias it is, right? So these are some important topics in this chapter. All right, great guys. So any other questions before we wrap up the session for today?
Sir Yogesh, I think Shaina has one point there. He wants to find out if we can discuss the exam paper. So for everyone to know, we will have an exam revision before you write your exam. So Sir Yogesh will give you an hour revision. Then at the same time, you could discuss the sample exam papers with the team and with Mr. Yogesh.
Yeah. So there will be one mock test, mock exam. Did we share with them right now, or we'll share later?
I've already shared it to them, Yogesh. So if for...
Okay, you already shared with them, so no problem. Yeah. What we can do is we can, in the last class, I think, which is labor law. So we will see when we finish the labor law. After that, I think after that either we can take or we can take in the 8th week, remaining in the 8th week right before the exam.
Okay, good.
Okay, yeah, all right. All right, guys. So thank you everyone for joining in, and take care, stay safe. Like I said, if you still have any question, you can ask, and you can even ask after the class also. I think most of you have my number, so there is no issue in that. I think I will also create a WhatsApp group for you guys if you wish, so that you can, before the exam, if you have any questions to ask, you can share with each other and you can prepare well. Yeah?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so I think I have most of your, I don't know if I have it. I will share my number again and then you can drop me a message. So I will add you to the group. Okay. So I think that's a very good way to interact and with each other. This is my WhatsApp number. So what you need to do is you need to share your name, like for example, your name here. And then this is October, right? October 20, CHRP. Like this, you can drop me a message. So I will add all of you to this group. We'll keep the name CHRP October 20. Yes. All right. So after the break, I will add on few people to the group, and then you can share with each other also. And during, even when you are preparing for the mock test, you can ask each other, isn't it? So you can share with each other in the group also. You can ask each other some answers, because I will be part of the group. I can also share if somewhere you feel you are stuck. That way we will save time, right? All right, guys. So see you next week. Take care, stay safe, and some people will be joining in the CHRM. So we'll see you again after the lunch break. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
See you next week. And for those, see you later for CHRM. Who's attending CHRM, they might forget, but I say see you next week. Okay,
Yes,
bye,
yes,
guys.
yes. Bye-bye.